when you step back into competition after a major injury, how can you get yourself to mentally let go again and go full bore at 100%? So this is one of the hardest things to do after an injury. And I've had 2 arm surgeries. I had my elbow operated on twice. And I can tell you this is one of the most challenging aspects of the entire surgery. And that is trusting your body and trusting your therapy team and trusting your doctor and trusting yourself that yes, they've said I can go 100%. So I'm going to go out there and give a true, full effort. It's really scary and it's really hard because what we want to do as human beings is protect ourselves. It's a hardwired instinct to protect our body. So when I got back out there on the field after blowing out this elbow ligament, I had real concerns that if I threw my absolute hardest, I was going to hear that pop and feel that tear again, that shooting dagger pain back into my elbow. That replays in your head over and over and over. And it's a really tough thing for a lot of athletes to get back through. When I had my first elbow surgery, one of my teammates and a really close friend, he got the same surgery like a month or 2 after me. So we were pretty much going through this kind of like best buddies. And I was going through it just a little bit ahead of him, but we were really doing the same stuff at mostly the same time. And in the end, I recovered and moved on to pro baseball, and he did not. And the major thing that I would attribute that to for him and his failure to come back was letting go. He had a lot of arm pain that didn't subside. He had a lot of mental disgruntlement. He was very frustrated. He was constantly angry about his arm. And he babied it when he got his chances in the game. When doctors said, no, you're good to go. Go out there and do your thing. Full bore, 100%. He held back. He didn't go full bore. And as a pitcher in baseball, you can't do that. You don't have enough to go out there and just throw 95% and ease off your slider and ease off your changeup. It doesn't work. And so that ended up being really the separator between both of us when we put in pretty much the same quality and caliber of work to get healthy. When it got to the end about letting go mentally and physically, I did it and he didn't. I came back and he couldn't. So I've seen this in person, and it was really sad to see my close friend go through this and how hard it was on him and to watch his career die even as mine started to take off again. So here's how this works. Once you're coming back from surgery, your physical therapy team is going to give you all these different milestones along the way. Like, hey, you can start, running again, or hey, you can start putting weight on, your knee again if it was a knee injury, or hey, you can start throwing again if you're a baseball player or a softball player. Hey, you can start hitting again if you're a volleyball player. You're going to have all these little milestones along the way, and they're always a new thing at a low intensity, right? Like you can start throwing, but you can only throw 30 feet, right? Nice and easy. And so they're just going to continue to ratchet this up. And those milestones are really important. And you're afraid at all those different milestones. I remember the first one for me in my first elbow surgery was they said, hey, you can rejoin the team for your sprinting and your agility drills and your conditioning. And I was like, okay, cool. I can do a lot of this stuff now instead of sitting out, even though I wasn't allowed to throw a baseball yet. Well, I asked the doctor, I said, what happens if I step on a cone and I slip and fall and catch myself with my arm? Is my arm going to be okay? And they said, yep, it's healed enough where that's totally fine. You can't throw a baseball yet. It's not healed enough to do that, but you can go out there and you pretty much do normal person things and your elbow will be okay. And I didn't really believe them. I mean, it's hard to believe them. You're like, man, is it really okay? You don't know until you test it. Well, I went out and I joined my team for their agility cone drills, in the basketball arena, and me being kind of clumsy, I stepped on one of those little flat dome cones. 10 minutes into the workout, I literally do the thing I was worried about doing. I step on a cone as I'm cutting and I slip and fall and I catch myself with my arm. And I got up and I shook it out and I looked at it and it didn't hurt. It was fine. And that was such a huge milestone for me. I literally did the thing that I was afraid of doing and it was fine. So it really comes down to when your team says you can go do this, you've got to go let it go and go full bore. You're going to have the angel and the devil on your shoulders. And the one's going to say, nope, you got to hold back. You got to protect yourself because that's what human beings are wired to do. And the other one's going to say, you know what? You can't stay here. You can't live in this 95% world and expect to be the world-class athlete that you want to be. You can't achieve those big dreams unless you let go. So you have to let the devil squash out the angel who wants to protect you. You have to say, you know what? I don't care what's going to happen. they said I got to go 100%. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to sprint as hard as I can. I'm going to jump as far as I can. I'm going to throw this ball as hard as I can. I'm going to swing this bat as hard as I can. Whatever it is, you've got to go out there and not do it 99%, but you've got to go out there and do it a full 110% mentally. You've got to let it go. And I remember when I finally got into those games where it's like, you are fully cleared, 100%, go out there and pitch. I bullied myself. I had to bully myself in my head. I said, Dan, you're going to blow your arm out today if that's what's going to happen. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to go out here and throw 97% and then go home and live in fear. We're not going to do that. And I said, okay, yes, sir. And I went out there and I threw as hard as I could possibly throw when they told me that I was capable of doing that. Now, you can't jump the gun. You can't go throw 100% or go run 100% or jump 100% or go back in the game before your therapy team tells you to. That's a good way to get hurt again and ruin your surgery and end up back on the surgeon's table. But when they say you are healed, it is time, you've got to test it out at 100%. You've got to do this if you want to get back to your previous performance level. Then that is the time when you have to use your self-talk, be the devil on your shoulder who says, no, you're not going to play this safe. You're not going to be, quiet and comfortable back home. You're going to go out in the game and you're going to do what your therapy team told you to do, which is do it as hard as you can do it. And so really it just takes courage, kind of like talking yourself to jump off that, cliff into that deep water. It's scary. It's tough. But that's a huge part into getting back after an injury. So hopefully this video was helpful. Obviously, recovery from major injury is hard, and it's not just physical. It is a lot of emotional and mental challenges along the way. And this is one of the big ones, letting go and trusting yourself and trusting your physical therapy team to do the next big thing when they release you to do it. It's scary, it's hard, but you have to use your mindset, use your mental talk, and get yourself and get that courage going to go do it. It's really important. You can't stay here. You can't stay at 95%. If you ever want to go back and reach those big goals and see those big dreams fulfilled, you have to have the courage, go 100%, and do it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Check out my mental skills book called This Slump Shall Pass. You'll find it in the description here below, and I'll see you here in the next video.